started. I am the broker owner of Boston Connect Real Estate, a boutique firm that is home to over 30 real estate sales and marketing agents who service home buyers and home sellers throughout Boston, the South Shore, the South Coast, and Cape Cod. Our firm takes pride in assisting our clients in the next chapter of their lives, taking a holistic approach to their real estate endeavors. We believe that every move should be a moving experience. Every week, my co-host Melissa Wallace and I will provide you with my team's unique marketing approach to selling homes and share with you our expertise in navigating the home buying process. We value the experience of our agents at Boston Connect Real Estate so much that not only will you hear my perspective on real estate topics, occasionally you will hear the expert thoughts and opinions of our experienced agents at Boston Connect Real Estate. Be a part of our roundtable. If you have any questions during the show, please call 781-837-4900. We love to talk real estate. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and wherever you like to listen to podcasts at Talk Real Estate Roundtable. If you would like a one-on-one consultation with me and my team to discuss your real estate needs, you can connect with me at bostonconnect.com or 781-826-8000. Now, sit back, relax, take good notes, and let's talk real estate.
And good morning to all our South Shore neighbors and beyond. My name is Melissa Wallace, and you are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. I am joined by the one and only, my sidekick for today.
Good morning, South Shore.
I'm just going to let you know that as soon as I said my name, I said, is that my name?
It's like when you look at a word that you spell all the time and you're like, that doesn't look right. But it is right, but it doesn't look right. Yeah,
yeah,
that's my name.
Exactly what you mean, Tracy. I felt that same way too.
You look at like a word like coast, and you're like, oh shoot, is that the way you spell coast? Like, is it C-O-A-S-T? Yeah, yep, that's right. But it doesn't look right today for some reason. I don't know why.
I feel that way every time I write a card. And I'm just like, sometimes I have to Google like the most simple words because I don't want to spell it wrong in a card.
I type it into my messages. Like sometimes Jim gets messages from me. He's like, what's that word?
Congratulations.
Yeah, exactly. Jim's like, why is that word? I'm like, oh, because I was trying to spell it and I did a spell check to make sure it was right. I must have sent it by mistake. Sorry.
No, it happens sometimes. It's like you second guess yourself. And I literally just second guess myself. I'm like, is that my name?
Oh, wait till you get married. That's going to totally throw you off your game. You're going to,
It's the real estate life.
It is. I know.
It's the brain.
Yeah, it's funny, but, that's our day. And this morning, it was off to an okay start. Got up, showered, did the thing, whatever, and got us some coffees.
You were here ahead of me.
The line was actually pretty long. I usually use the app, but with your coffee, it's a little bit different from ours. So I was like, I'll just run in. And because sometimes it gets confusing with the whole like, we want a latte and all this stuff. So I'm like, I'd rather just tell you. And it was a little busy over there. And then I pulled in, perfect timing, and the front door's not opening.
Oh, yeah. She's like running around with the two coffees in her hands, and she's like, the keypads aren't working. I'm like, is there power? Wait a minute. Does it even work on power?
We have keypads. The front door's not working. I'm sure Sharon will see the ring doorbell and be like, have me be swearing at it pretty much. And I'm like, okay. So I went to the side door. We have a ramp on the side of the building, and I can't even remember the last time I used that. I always open it from the inside, and it's like, no, I don't think that's the code. I'm like,
it's bouncing red. It's like, no, that's not the right code. It's like, no, that's the only code we have. It's the only code.
I'm like, what? So then I'm running down the ramp, and you're like, what's going on? I'm like, I can't get in.
We can't get in the building. We're going around the back.
Open the door.
You know what? Yes. I don't know what I would have done if we couldn't get the back door to open.
Then we would have been in a panic.
Running, yeah. So
just pop on a Zoom on the laptop.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, I would have
had
had
the parking lot out back.
Yeah,
in the fog.
We would have had to call you all the way. We would have come in. We would have come in and hung out with you, Tim.
We're on our way, Tim.
Start out on the phone, drive
Yeah.
over. Yeah, we could have made it work.
It would have been really fun for all of our listeners.
I hope they make it to the studio.
Yeah, but then, we set up the studio here. I went to the front door, and there it goes. It's working.
And it's working fine.
I don't know. I think it's very much like, I always say that the printer senses fear. Like, it knows when you're in a rush, and it's not going to work. And it happens here all the time. I tell our agents, I say, listen, come in cool, calm, and collected. I know you're running late, but just trick it. It
The
knows.
printer senses vibes.
It senses vibes. Yes, I have been saying this for years.
agree.
It senses fear. It
Is it
knows
a
when you're in
Canon?
a rush. No, it's a Kyocera. It's one of those big
Oh.
ones.
Yeah.
It's a big one.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's a big one, and
I don't touch the buttons on it. I don't.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
it does a little sniff test every time someone comes in. Like, oh, are they in a rush?
It senses my fear.
More
Like,
Kyocera?
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is
it's scary.
Kyocera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other day, it
Chupacabra.
really never happens to me, but it did happen to me the other day. And I was like, wait a minute. I was in a rush. And I go, okay, I got to.
It can
Gotta
it can
take
sense
a
my
deep
fear.
breath. It can sense my fear, and then it worked. So I think that's what happened to the front door. I think it said, you know what?
Yep.
We want to shake things up.
Yep. She's carrying a couple of cups of coffee, a bag. She doesn't have an extra set of hands.
Yeah.
I'm not opening.
But this is perfect example. So there are a lot of people who have keypads. I know Sharon has a keypad at her house. That people have keypads at their house. I don't. I've thought
don't.
about doing it, but call me traditional gal. I
have
like
a
a key. I like a key.
We do have a keypad on our garage.
Sometimes it might
So-
be Mercury in retrograde too.
Yes.
Those things
What is it?
sometimes.
Gatorade in the microwave is what some people say.
Gatorade in the. I've never heard that, but I do
No,
like
don't
it.
do that.
No, it's like
Gatorade
a
in
play
the
on
microwave,
words. So
yeah.
Gatorade in the microwave.
Microwave.
It's
Mercury on
Mercury in retrograde. Gatorade in the
like
microwave.
it. I kind of like that.
But yeah, no, there's in this industry, there's so many properties that do have these keypads, and some of them are kind of confusing and especially when you're like transferring ownership of your
Oh,
keypad.
yep.
Like, and change it. How do we change the keypad and do that? And I'm just like, take it off.
Take off the keypad. It's
Take it
funny.
off.
I hope Carrie's listening. Carrie at Christina's is listening because when she installed the key lock on the back door, we did it together. She's like, "You've done these before, haven't you?" I'm like, "Sure, yeah, I've done them before." We put whatever the code is that comes with it. It's a random code that comes with it, and we tried to reset it. We're like, "Well, I guess this is our code forever now, so we're just going to leave it the way
This is it.
It was cold that night, and
Yeah.
it was in the dark. We were trying
Yeah.
to screw it in. I'm like, "This is a good code. It's as good
Yeah.
as any. Nobody knows it."
And I think they all have like sort of a backup. Like you can use a key with ours. I think there's a whole backup thing. So if you're selling your house, my suggestion would be to use the key. Don't use the keypad.
Or have a backup.
Have a backup.
It's a good learning experience.
Yeah,
today.
because you don't want to be changing your keypad number all the time, with your showings and your open houses. I would just be a little nervous. I don't think anybody's taking any keys and
I gotta
making
tell ya.
copies during their.
When I first started selling real estate, I think one of my first clients, we had like 5 appointments set up for one Saturday afternoon. So we were going to be busy the whole day. I, of course, took meticulous notes. I have all my lock keypads all written down. The first one I go to do, of course, doesn't work. Try it, doesn't work. I got to the point where got to be so excited. I'm like, it opened. It opened. I got the key out. Like, you're just like so happy that first time when you're a brand new real estate agent. That's your stress is like, God, I hope the lockbox works.
It's so funny because I was talking with Trish Flynn, who is part of Team Flynn here at Boston Connect Real Estate, full-time agents here. She had a couple showings yesterday. She did have a closing, so she came in, grabbed her check, and we chatted for a bit. And she just was like, did you know that there's these new sort of rules with Showing Time? So Showing Time is a sort of an app or website that we use to schedule showings. So if your house is on the market, you might get a text or a call or an email saying, hey, somebody wants to show your property. Do you agree, not agree, different time, things like that. And she is very much like me. I like to be prepared. Like if I'm going to a showing, I like to know what the lockbox code is, because again, you're setting yourself up for success.
Yes.
No one wants it senses fear. A lockbox senses fear as well.
Yep.
We'll
And your client
make
is
a whole
usually
entire list.
And your client is standing right next to you, so you want to look like, I do this all the time.
Yeah.
I'm very professional. I know what I'm doing.
You don't want anyone to think that you're some ding dong that can't open it.
Lockbox.
Lockbox. Oh, here. Let me get the lockbox
code.
open. Yeah, it is stress inducing. And she had a showing. Her first showing wasn't great. Second showing was coming up, and she didn't have any instructions yet. It said that she would get the instructions how to get into the property during the window that she was showing it. And she was like,
Oh, it's like Airbnb.
Yeah, she was like, I like to walk up confidently.
Yes.
Open the lockbox. There you go.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't sound like a big deal to everybody.
Oh, no,
but
it's a
when
big
you're
deal.
spending the first 5 to 10 minutes of your half-hour window of your showing trying to get into the property, it sets the tone.
It sets a tone. Yep.
It sets the tone.
Yeah. Airbnb started that years ago where
Yeah.
they didn't send you the code until within like 15 minutes of your 4 o'clock check-in or whatever it was. And those were we had some down in Nashville when we were going down to visit Taylor, and they had the keypads on the units that you were using, and it would not work. Like, I think it actually changed the code every time. So you got a new code, so you couldn't use the old code. It was like,
I've only stayed in Airbnbs a couple of times, but to be honest with you, they've actually been less convenient than staying at a hotel. So we did it in Texas, but again, we couldn't get in until 4 o'clock. We had landed at 10, so we had all this time to like sort of fill with
time.
other things. So
and you're tired
so
because
other
you've been
people
traveling.
are driving us around. Then the second group came and they had a rental car. It was just like, it was too much. And they had a keypad. Half the time it didn't work, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I remember Mary's bachelorette down the Cape. Again, we had to go out to lunch and go shopping before we could even get into the, I like, let me drop my bags or early check-in. That's what I like.
Oh, we did that when we went on our vacation in October. So we flew overnight, flew into Athens. Get to Athens, we hit the ground 7 a.m. We've been on the we got on the plane at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon in Boston. We landed at 7 a.m. in Athens. So now we're like tired. We haven't slept. So you get to the hotel. The hotel is not like a hotel that has like a beautiful lobby that has like a breakfast place. It is about an 800 square foot space, and the desk is there. They took our bags. Our bags took up the entire lobby. There is no place to hang. There's no rooftop. There's nowhere. So I'm like, oh my God, we can't check in till 1 o'clock. It's 7 a.m. What are we gonna do? I'm like pie-eyed at this point. So we ended up having to wander around, but that was a long. When you're tired and you just like, I just need a nap at this point. Colin was flying in after us, so we ended up at a cafe in the middle of this at like noontime. Finally, I'm like, we got to sit down. I got to get something to eat. I got to close my eyes. We got to do something. Finally, Colin comes walking around the corner, and we're like, all right, put a little bit of pep in our step.
Pep in your step.
But wow, that was a day, though, the longest day ever.
Things to consider when you're traveling.
When you're traveling, like you might want to get an early check-in, and we should have done early check-in. Let me tell you, hotel was lovely. They did get us in earlier than we thought. I think we weren't supposed to check in until 3, and they got us in at 1. So I was like, oh, thank God.
Good.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
So the past couple shows that you've been on, I've done an agenda, which back in the day was not our jam.
we are not agenda
by the
gals.
seat of our pants.
Clearly, we are 10 minutes and we've not talked.
Yeah.
Keypads.
No, we talk about keypads.
Keypads, and they're important.
They're important. And then the past few shows, I've made an agenda. Then yesterday, I asked you to do the show, and I was like, you know what? We know how to rock. We know how to do this. Yeah. You come in, you have an agenda.
I did an agenda.
I was pleasantly surprised. I'm very proud of you.
Had a little thought process going on.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of because the past couple of times that I've been on, we've been talking about the fact that Jim and I are getting ready to get our house ready to put on the market, probably the beginning of next year.
Yeah.
For everybody who keeps asking me. I have customers at the bar that are like, well, you're not going to be here. I'm like, I'm not leaving for like a year. I'm still going to be here for a while. Like, it's going to take a while. So we're in that process.
Hopefully you'll get an offer that you can't refuse right away. Or you're always open to an off-market offer.
Anytime you want to come see the house, we'd be happy to say that to Jim all the time. What if somebody just wants to see it off-market? Like, what are we going to do? So, we got backup plans. So anybody looking for a house in Hanover that would like to make an offer? Anytime.
Yes, beautiful home.
Yep, great home.
Yeah,
and
I'll give you an opportunity. Yeah, I'll give you an opportunity to sell your house. Yeah, during this. Yeah, during this episode. We always come up with topics for the show going on in our business, and you happen to be at home watching TV, and some of the things that they were saying on the show, I don't even know what it was, but you were like, what?
I am arguing with the TV. Jim's like, you're a little passionate about Jim is a YouTuber. He loves to just jump from the Titanic to replacing and replacing the parts of an Odyssey. Some guy who does, you can go from one to the other, and sometimes I'm like, God, you are truly have the attention span of a gnat. But the other day we were watching the things to do and not to do when you're getting ready to sell your home.
Yeah.
So this guy comes on and he's got about 10 different things. And I'm like, what is he like? What are you talking about? You have to do these. There were a few things that I just argued the point with him. I'm like, you have to replace the roof if you have leaks in your roof. Like he was like, well, you don't have to replace the roof. You mean you have to take care of the leaks? I'm like, well, at that point, why wouldn't you just replace the roof?
Yeah.
And the way that they had put it was like, how did he put it? It can become a negotiating term down the like, well, if you have leaks in the roof, then you're going to have to give, you're going to end up having to give a credit back. I'm like, why would I even go down that road to talk about negotiating a negative before I've even put the house on? Like, if you have leaks in your roof and your roof is 25, 30 years old, I think you have to replace it.
Yeah.
We, luckily enough, had a tree come through the side of our house, which took out the entire side.
Did you feel lucky in the moment that it happened?
No, we did not. Again, on our way out of town, heading toward Puerto Rico the next day, tree comes through the side of the house, have to get it all buttoned up, get ready to go. But in the long run, I mean, yes, no, I don't recommend having a tree come through, but we did end up having, because the roof got damaged, the back deck got damaged, so we had to file a claim, obviously. So we did get a brand new roof, and they didn't just replace that part of the roof because we had such a different color shingle on the roof. That's another thing that really think long and hard when you replace your roof.
The color of the shingle.
We talk about it a lot, especially in new construction. Like we just did a sit down with somebody the other day, and we were talking about the color. Like you can pick whatever color you want to put on. Builder will put whatever you want to put on. If you have damage to your roof, though, and you pick a color that's like a multicolor or like a green or something that has like a hint of red to it, after your roof has aged and you might have to replace a shingle here and there, the color match is terrible.
Yeah.
So think long and hard when you replace your roof. Pick a good color, like we did moire black. And that's like a standard because you can always get moire black. If you start picking different colors, like a blend of greens, and that looks really pretty and it matches your paint, down the line, if you have damage, it's really tough to replace. So that's
well, there's a house here on Metakeeson Street that has an American flag.
yeah, like that's
What if they need to replace their roof, parts of their roof?
if they I'm thinking they're going to have to replace that whole
It's
roof.
going to have to start to become another flag, a different flag.
It's going to look
another country's flag.
It's going to become like, wasn't that the American flag? But now it looks a little bit more like the British flag because of the shingles that needed to be replaced on.
Yeah.
So if you have leaks and you're getting ready to put your house on the market, obviously there's certain things that you're gonna do. If you have major leaks in your roof, I think you should safely say you need to replace your roof.
Yeah.
But he was like, don't replace the roof. And I'm yelling at the TV like, what are you talking about? Of course you have to replace your roof.
I mean,
I know it's a lot of money, but if you're going to take it off, why wait for it to become a negotiating down the line? It becomes a negative as opposed to
because so you cannot replace the roof. You can disclose that it leaks or.
Well, they're going to ask you how old it is. How old? One of the first questions everybody asks: how old is your heating system? How old is your roof?
Yeah.
Those are going to be the first two questions. So if your roof is...
It's so funny that you say that because we have a mutual friend. I won't say who they are. I'll tell you off air because I forgot to tell you this beforehand. Mutual friend who said, thinking about putting my house on the market. I have to talk to my partner about it. They're not going to be on board, but I really want to right now, blah, blah, blah. And then they go, Tracy? And I go, absolutely, Tracy. I said, and they said, oh, well, what's sort of like the process, whatever. So I started going through it of like, she'll come to your house. She'll ask you, what's the age of your roof? What's the age of your heating system? And then they go, oh, yeah. What? How old is my heating? And I go, okay, start to think about it now because so it's so funny that you said those two
first
things
question.
Because I was like, she's gonna ask you the age of the roof. And I was like, oh, and you have a pool, but it's above ground, right? So it's personal property.
Yep.
And he's just like, oh.
Okay.
Oh.
I gotta really start
All these
thinking about it. Yeah, those are the questions. Those are the first questions that come out.
Yes.
So and Jim and I have already done a punch list of the things that we want to, that we feel need to be done to get the most. I mean, and I feel like a lot of people in the same position as we are. This is our last big ticket item that's going to probably set the tone for our retirement down the line. So when we put our house on the market, we clearly want to get the most we possibly can for it. So we are prepared to do probably a little more work than the average person has to do in order to get the most that we possibly can. So, we are going to do our hardwood floors over because they talked about flooring, like don't replace flooring. I am a big advocate of not replacing carpeting because I think people feel even if you replace it, you still walked on it. People get kind of a wiggy feeling about
Sharon
carpet.
always says that like people clip their toenails in in carpet. She's like, I don't care how
Now
much,
I'm not going to be able to get that.
often you vacuum or you clean it, you clip your toenails.
That is just, but that's what people think. So I highly recommend to steam clean your carpets so that they look really nice, so it shows well, it photographs well. Guarantee whoever buys your house is going to rip those carpets out like first
Most
thing.
people are going to replace the carpet. That's what I did. I have one room in my house that has carpet, and I replaced it before I even moved in.
So never replace carpet with carpet. You can replace carpet with hardwood, and I do think you'll get some money back on that.
Yeah.
Like we're going to redo, we've needed to do our hardwood floors over because when we put in our new island, our old island, where there was there's a round, everybody who comes in, there's a perfectly round hole right next to the island. Everybody's like, what's going on with that? I'm like, yeah. When we put in our new island, the old island covered the hole, which was the access to power downstairs.
Yeah.
So we still have to replace that. So when we do the hardwood floors over, that little peak hole is going to get replaced.
So
But
can you see your basement?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. You can look right down into the basement like, oh, yeah, there it is down there.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
yeah, but it needs to get done. And we just keep putting it off until it gets closer. Now that we're going to put it on the market,
Yeah.
we're going to do the floors probably right before we put it on so that they stay nice. Because we have Edna and the pool and the wet dog. And it's like, I'm not going to spend the money to redo hardwood floors and then put our house on the market a year later.
Yeah.
So that's our plan. So I do think replacing carpet with carpet, no. Replacing carpet with hardwood floors, always going to get you money back.
Yeah.
I think that's a good rule of thumb.
Yeah.
So what was the other
What
thing?
else was on your list from the show?
Remodel kitchen and bath.
Okay.
So
Which is interesting because you redid your kitchen a couple years ago.
we did a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to experience your new
Yes.
kitchen. You got to live in it. You got to love it.
Yes.
You did it pretty neutral.
Yep.
So if somebody can come in and they can, they like it. I mean, how do you not
white
like
cabinets up?
neutral?
Oak, white cabinets up, oak down. We didn't do anything crazy. I wouldn't. Again, I did agree with him on this one. If you're going to be if we were putting our house on the market next spring,
Yeah.
and we didn't redo our kitchen, I would not redo my kitchen.
Yeah.
Because I feel like whoever's going to come in and is going to be like me. When we go to Nashville, I don't want to buy a house that has a brand, unless it has the absolute same kitchen that I would mentally want in my house, which the odds are slim to none. When we move to Nashville, I'd rather have an old kitchen and just rip it out and put in what I want to put in. And I don't think, and then if we did replace our kitchen right before, I don't think you're going to get your money back. Like we did it 3 or 4 years ago, we're going to see some return on our investment. If we did it now and put our house on the market a year from now, we're not going to get the money back because prices have gone up. Tariffs, cabinets, prices, you have to think about it. And I think most people go in thinking like we do, I want it to be me. I don't want it to be.
How long did it take your kitchen to complete? And that was years ago.
Yeah, it was years ago. It was a solid 6 months. I would say 6 months. By the time, you pick everything out, you got to do your plumbing, you got to do your electrical, the cabinets have to be ordered. Like we always say with new construction, everybody's like, how soon till I can get in? And we usually say, and it's usually pretty good rule of thumb, 30 days after the cabinets are delivered. So after your kitchen has been delivered to the house, usually 30 days after that, we can probably get you in if everything else has come in.
Mm-hmm.
So the kitchen is usually the last thing that gets done. One last run on the floors. The appliances go in first, then the last run on the floors, and then it's
so
anywhere
they're not
from
scratching them up.
There you go. Yeah, smart builder. We have a really good builder that we work with. So
Well, that's a good point because I even heard this the other day. There was somebody purchasing new construction. They were upset that they couldn't have their appliances delivered before their property was
They owned
theirs.
it. Yeah,
before they owned it.
Yeah.
The builder wasn't allowing that, and rightfully so, because people come in here and scratch up the floors, and then who's responsible for that?
Yeah.
If you want to take responsibility for that and pay for those floors to be redone, then fine.
Yeah.
But
Are you talking new construction?
Yes.
Yeah. So for new construction, if you think about it, part of the deal is you do get your oven, in your dishwasher. So
Yeah.
those are two big major appliances that are going to have to be installed, and that is on the part of the builder. So they're responsible for that. So our builder always says, if you're buying your washer, dryer, and your refrigerator, you do it all at the same time, and they'll do the install, but not separately. It all has to be done for exactly the same reason. Like, I don't want the builder's going to install the dishwasher and the stove, and then 2 weeks later, the refrigerator is going to come and it scratches the floor.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do it, you do them all at the same time. If a scratch happens, it's going to get fixed prior to you moving into the house.
Yeah.
So as long as the whole package goes in at the same time and not separately after the floors get done, then I think it's fine. But don't expect the builder to allow you 2 days before closing to have your refrigerator installed, have the floor get nicked, and then have to be replaced.
That was what the issue was. It was, a couple days before closing, they wanted their refrigerator, and they said no.
And I get it. I mean, I totally understand you want your refrigerator in, but it should have gone in at the same time your washer, your dishwasher, and your range went in.
Well, especially because when you're ordering from these, I don't know, big box places, sometimes
you go to Home Depot, you go to Lowe's, you order
you're
your
not
package,
getting somebody who might be, the utmost professional, at some of these appliance stores that, they install them all day, every day. And I'll take my own example. So I had to get a new washer and dryer at some point last year, and I wasn't home. Ethan was home. They delivered them. I ordered them from Lowe's. They came on, a Penske truck or whatever.
Exactly.
And a rent-a-truck
with a rent-a-plumber.
And the dryer was fine. It went in. I had McNamara Plumbing, of course, and do the setup. But I just said, just put them in the basement. Don't hook them up. Don't do anything. I have a plumber coming. And they were supposed to take away the old machines. And I get a FaceTime from Ethan, and he goes, what do you want to do about this? And he turns the camera to the washing machine, and it was all dinged up.
Oh, yeah.
It was
like
so
it looked like it
morphed.
fell off the truck, and they put it back on the truck. Like, they won't notice.
So they said,
nobody's going to notice.
So the box wasn't damaged, but the machine was very much damaged that you couldn't even close the lid. The front of it was so dented that it had popped the lid up. So it was it's a top loader for the washer, and the lid wasn't closing. So they wanted to know if I wanted to keep it. I said, I'm
As
sorry,
a planter?
what?
What was I going to turn it into, a planter out in my backyard?
I said, no, and I want a new one today. Oh, well, we can't do it today. Well, you're going to have to figure it out.
Yeah, because I'm not keeping that one.
I'm not keeping that one. Oh yeah, and then they offered if I wanted to keep it, I would get a discount. I said, if you can't close it, you can't use it.
Yeah.
So no.
Discount. Are you going to give me money to keep it? Then maybe I would think about it. But
if you refund me all of my money, and then I can turn around and buy a washing machine from somebody else, I'm fine with that.
I'm fine. Yeah.
But and so Ethan said, okay, after he had to calm me down a little bit, and he's like, I'll take it from here. Don't worry.
Yeah, because I
quickly hung up on me. But it's some of these, but here's the thing. Somebody had to be there to tell them no. And when you're having these appliances delivered, and it's during a window, it was like a 4-hour window.
Yep.
So who's staying there? Is somebody, somebody who's building the house is going to accept your, washer, dryer, refrigerator and make those decisions?
No.
Or are you going to get permission to sit there for 4 hours while, you have your delivery window?
Yeah, while you wait for your delivery. No.
Yeah. Yes. So these are things that you have to sort of think about, when you're...
Yeah, I think it's a better idea when you're doing new construction. If you are buying... If part of your deal is a partial package, whether it be a dishwasher and a range, and then you want to pick out your refrigerator to match, and you want to have your washer dryer delivered, it all has to come at the same time.
Yeah, I get it. In an ideal world, this all works out, and you're able to sit there and you're able to accept this. But unfortunately, we don't live in an ideal world.
And some people want to bring their refrigerator from their existing house. They may have just bought it. They absolutely loved it, and they want to bring it with them. Unfortunately, you probably aren't going to get it installed prior to owning the property.
Yeah.
Because, for that same reason, if the floor gets nicked, now it's on the builder to fix the floor. It's just, because you don't own it.
Yeah. I mean, if I was to move tomorrow, I'd probably want to bring my washer and dryer. I just bought it.
Yeah.
But if I was moving into a home that maybe they had just bought it too, maybe it's not a
And
domino
it's already
effect.
there and I don't have to move it.
Yeah.
Like I'm a big proponent of not moving your appliances just because it's a lot of money and it's just a pain.
I know. And then I'd have to call Mark at McNamara Plumbing and say, okay, I'm moving.
Mark,
Can you unhook them and then hook them back up and remove them? Just a lot.
I'm a big proponent of leaving your appliances if you can. I mean, I know some people are very attached to their washer dryers or their refrigerators, but in the true scheme of things, like we had somebody moving to California and they were like, no, but we really love our refrigerator. I'm like, you're going to move your refrigerator to California with you? Like, just leave it.
What?
Just buy like the amount of money you're going to spend to move that refrigerator to California. It's just, I don't know.
Wow.
They really
well,
liked
that's a choice.
They really liked that refrigerator.
That is a choice. Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe it's one of those smart ones that have the TV on it and, they have a TV built into it or
Still
something.
got to move it though. I don't know.
That's too much for me.
No.
Anything else on your list?
Well, but back to the remodel of the kitchen.
Okay.
So, all right, so you're not going to remodel the entire kitchen. I'm not saying that you can't spruce up your kitchen a little bit. I'm just saying don't do a major, like if you're getting ready to put your house on the market in the fall of this year, do not rip your entire kitchen out and put in a brand new kitchen and expect to get your money back. It's not going to happen. But if you want to spruce up your kitchen a little bit, you want to reface your cabinets, put a coat of paint on them. Maybe if you have a less expensive countertop, you want to put in like a remnant or something that's for short amount of money, then you'll see some return on that, I think.
Well, we have a friend who does all that. It works with kitchen stuff. What is it? What does he do?
Oh yeah. He's a kitchen designer.
Kitchen designer.
He's a kitchen designer.
In bathrooms, I think, too.
Oh, he does everything.
Oh, yeah, he does the whole shebang.
Oh, he does it
You
all.
need a cabinet anywhere in your house.
You need a cabinet,
He's got
a
it.
cover. Yeah, he's the guy.
I had
Tile.
asked him, I said, because, you've seen my house and you've been in it, and we painted the cabinets because they were solid wood. Nothing was wrong with them. We replaced the hardware.
If the layout isn't going to change, if your layout isn't going to change and
yeah.
your base of your cabinets is solid,
yeah, it's fine. There was nothing wrong with them. I was putting my money somewhere else. But I had asked him a couple weeks ago, I said, how much do you think it would cost to replace my countertop? I said, eventually one day down the road, I would love to redo my kitchen. Yeah. I don't have a dishwasher. I would love to have a dishwasher. I have a door in my kitchen that, we use now, but we could use the slider. We have a slider and a door that goes to the same place. So if I had to reimagine, I would probably get rid of the door and I would put in the whole shebang. Yep. But I said, for now, I would just really love to replace the kitchen countertops because it's just an L. Like, it's nothing crazy. And he was like, oh, it'd probably cost this. And I'm like, all right, like, pretty reasonable. But he's like, well, if you're going to do your kitchen eventually, and I go, it might not even happen.
Yeah.
It might not even happen. But the countertops drive me crazy.
Yep.
So if I could just replace that and maybe the sink.
If the layout doesn't bother you that bad, you feel like you have enough counter space. Yes.
Oh, I definitely don't.
Oh, okay.
I do not.
Okay.
I do not have enough counter space. And I said this on the show the other last week or the week before that we don't have a kitchen table. And I want to preface, we don't have a kitchen table not because we can't afford one. It's because I don't have anywhere to put it.
Yeah.
And I have a raised ranch, and I do have that wall in between my living room and my kitchen. So some people take that wall out or, whatever. I do have it. And so my kitchen is a little small and not a ton of cabinet space. So I bought a piece of furniture that I can keep all my pots and pans. It has my crock pot and it has the coffee pot on top, the whole shebang. It looks great.
Yep.
But it takes up that whole wall.
Yes. Yep.
So I don't have anywhere to put a table.
Yep.
And then Sharon's like, well, why don't you put it in your lounge? And I was like, oh, well, then I'd have to take the carpet out because I think that's weird to have a dining room table on top of a wall-to-wall carpet.
I mean, it's been done.
It's been done. And I was like, but eventually that might have to be a bedroom.
It could be. You could put an area rug though over that rug. Like put in like a designer, like I'm a big fan of like a leather strap around the outside. So it makes it kind of like it puts it kind of designates a spot for your dining room table, so it looks like a separate area.
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
Over. You could do that.
So I had asked him, I said, what if I just replace the countertop? Because that's what's driving me crazy. We have figured out how to maneuver everything else. It's working. We're not going to spend the money. I'm not going to spend the money on it. So what if I just replace the countertop and the sink? And he's like, oh, well, it'll be about this and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, if you're ever interested, just let me know. And I'm like, I might. That might be the route that I go down.
Yeah, like an L shape. You might be able to get like a pretty decent, a really nice piece that was left over from somebody's massive, island in the kitchen that needed to be cut down.
Yeah,
I bet you could absolutely do that.
I mean, not a ton
Tile
of
backsplash.
Space. Yeah, I would love to do a backsplash. If there was like a partial backsplash when I bought it, I ripped that down because it was like a what is it?
My ultimate goal, was to have a tile backsplash. I just wanted a tile. Like I would look at tile forever. I love tile. I love the look of tile. Totally want a tile backsplash.
Do you have a backsplash at your house?
We do. We have a backsplash. But for years, my sister, who is a fantastic painter, had faux finished my backsplash for when we first moved in. So first it was kind of like
you were very into the painting of the walls.
As we all know. I still have the dogwood trees that are going to come down eventually. We do have a lot of hand-painted board. I mean, I was into paint. So my sister painted this Harlequin backsplash. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was purple, yellow, brick red, and it was like a Harlequin. Wow. But I loved it. And it looked great with my drapes at the time. It was very in. Not now. So then we changed it to a painted brick backsplash. So, and it looked like brick. Like she did the faux finish and it looked like brick. But my dream was always to have a tile backsplash. So we're redoing the kitchen. So I'm looking at tile and Jim's like, I think we need to do like a quartz backsplash. And I'm like, what? I'm not getting my tile? And he's like, I think it's just it's not a ton of space. Yeah. Like if you have a big, huge wall that you can appreciate the tile, I totally understood it after he said it. So we did the quartz on our island and then it kind of goes up behind the stove. So we ended up doing a quartz backsplash, not a tile, which I absolutely love. I would not change it. Good. But my heart was always
Nashville. There's always Nashville.
I'm getting a tile backsplash somewhere in that, and maybe a farm sink.
Oh, yes.
See, but I got Edna. I got the golden retriever, but I didn't get my farm sink, so that was the trade-off. So Jim's like, all right, here's the deal. We can get another dog, but we're not getting a farm sink. He was dead set. He hates it. Hates the farm. I don't
like the porcelain ones?
Yes. Yeah. No interest in him at all. Every time we watch a home show, he's like, I hate that sink. I'm like, I love that sink because I'm short. Yeah. I'm 5'1" on a good day. If I'm trying to impress somebody, I'm 5'1". And that those farm sinks are lower. Yeah. So like I can reach in and not feel like I'm like reaching over and into the sink. But I got Edna. So I was happy with that, and I didn't get my porcelain sink. So, again, Nashville. Hopefully, maybe, probably not.
Backsplash.
Yeah, exactly.
I might have to sneeze, so give you a minute.
Yeah, that's okay. She's gonna have a little sneeze. So my other thing, so sprucing up, like even in your bathroom, it talked about your bathroom. Like, we talked about replacing our tub in our primary suite with a walk-in shower and tiling, of course. God bless. And tiling, of course, because, that he was fine with. We could tile the
Would
tub.
you have a tub somewhere else in your house?
The other bath.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, I do think, and I don't know. The jury's out on, do you need 2 sinks in your bathroom, in your primary suite? Do you need 2 sinks? Mm-hmm. Everybody's like, yes. I'm like, how often are you in the bathroom
together?
Really?
Every once in a while, Ethan and I will brush our teeth at the same time because if we're going to bed at the same time, but other than and I only have one bathroom.
Okay, so
if I was to have a dream home, it would be more than one bathroom.
Yeah. Okay. So all right.
So I would say jury's out 50-50 on that one.
We are going to put in that is our plan. We're going to replace
Do you have 2 bowls now?
No, we have one. We have one, and it's in like an antique. Well, we've already talked about this. I have the brown bathroom upstairs with the black appliances that have to go. So that's all getting redone.
That's in your primary bathroom, or is that the guest? Oh.
No, that's our primary bathroom. Is like the black appliances, and it's like an old. I think we got it now that I was thinking back the other day. Restoration Hardware. I think we bought the vanity. Yeah, and it's like an old chest of drawers that we built the sink into and put the black granite countertop on top. So I mean, it's a nice looking piece, but it's going. And so if we were going to stay and not sell our house, I would rip the tub out of our primary bathroom and put a walk-in shower. And I'd probably get rid of the closet behind it because it's just a hall closet. We put our laundry in there, but we don't need it. And that would give us that beautiful walk-in. So whoever buys the house has the potential that you could definitely take out that unit and put in a beautiful walk-in shower.
So what are you going to do that's not going over the top?
We're going to replace the tub doors because they're like old brass tub doors.
Mm-hmm.
We have a divider wall that goes between the toilet and the sink, which is a hand-painted lead thing. We're going to replace that.
Lots of hand painting.
Oh my God. I don't know it was the thing. It was just, I don't know. And the designer we used when we bought the house, she was big into like all this arts and craftsy type of stuff. So
Great.
Well, we're right on board with it. So anyways, we're replacing that. We are going to replace the tub doors. We're going to paint the bathroom because it's brown. We're going to paint the trim, make it white, replace the toilet, which is black, with a white toilet. And, clean up the tub. Like we will in that show, they talked about it. Like you don't need to replace your tub. You can just have it cleaned, professionally cleaned, buffed out. Like Jim, we had a boat for years, so we have like a fiberglass buffer. So he's just going to go in and like fiberglass buff the tub and make it like to spruce up the bathroom. Not a ton of money will be invested in it, but it'll look like and we'll put in a double sink.
Yeah.
We will put the double sink in. But I honestly...
And you have room for that?
Yeah, but there was definitely room. I think there was actually the bathroom that was there. We redid the entire bathroom probably 5 years after we moved in. There was a double sink in there.
Interesting, because you bought new construction, right?
We did, but it was already built. We didn't. It was already built. So, and it had a double sink, but when we did it over, we went more for style than for practicality, which clearly is why we have, black woodwork and black toilet and brown, and it's a room. I actually brought a friend up recently, and she walked in. She's like, "Oh, Tracy, you got to redo this bathroom. You can't sell the house like nobody."
Well, it's interesting because you have a contrast here. So they talked about redoing bathrooms and kitchens, and you're planning on potentially moving in the next year, at some point next year.
Yep.
So you're saying don't redo the kitchen, but do redo the bathroom.
Spruce.
You are
doing, but it's not not what I would totally do to it. Like I'm not ripping it out to the studs and putting in what I ideally want. We're saving the tile. We're saving we have shutters in the windows, so we are keeping a lot of what we have. But we are going to replace the key things that I think visually will make it more, that people will walk in and be like, oh, it doesn't need to be redone. It might not be my style that I want to live with forever, but it definitely doesn't have to be top on our list of things that need to be replaced.
Well, maybe they can live with it for 5 years like you did, and then spruce it up.
Or
do a renovation.
Yeah.
Get rid of that closet and
we'll probably go to Lowe's and just buy a really nice vanity with a solid countertop, replace those tub doors because they're horrible, and buff up the tub and do a paint job on it.
Yeah.
Well, we already got rid of our brown room downstairs, which is very sad.
Yes.
We had the brown striped walls that I had like 50 portraits on that I loved. That room. It was my favorite room. But we just recently repainted it. Neutral, same color as the entire room. For us to redo it, I think we're under $500.
Yeah.
Jim did all the painting. We painted the ceiling. We painted the walls. We painted the woodwork. We replaced the two orange, red, brown plaid chairs that I sold on Marketplace. Somebody came in, bought them.
Wow.
And we replaced them with two little swivel white chairs, and the whole room just looks completely neutral, but still nice.
Yeah.
I mean,
and again, you're still living in it for at least a year.
Yep.
So you are going to get some sort of satisfaction out of it
Yep.
in your hard work. But, it's such a dramatic difference for under $500.
Oh,
it's
my drapes,
totally worth
I ordered
it.
the drapes on Wayfair, and they have like a nice leather banding. We kept the rods that we already had, which were big, huge. Jim's like, how much do you think we paid for these rods back in 1999 or whatever it was, 2002? I'm like, I don't know, but I'll bet they were like $500 a piece for the rod and the holders. They're big, huge, gold, chunky.
Yeah.
So we kept those, and they look fantastic. And we got new plaid, like a soft brown plaid drape with the loops. Looks fantastic.
Perfect.
Wayfair, $140 for the whole. You cannot go wrong. So you can do it on a budget, and it just brightens it up enough. Like, I totally got what he was saying.
Yeah.
And, like, don't overinvest in your, for putting it on the market. But it still needs to, like, there were some things, like things you don't see. And then they showed the air conditioning unit outside. I'm like, oh, what's he going to say about the air conditioning unit? Like, well, nobody's going to see a new air conditioning unit. I'm like, yeah, but if your air conditioning unit, we have one that's brand new that we put in because one went. So we have a brand new one, and we have one that just keeps kicking along, and it hasn't had to be replaced. But in our minds, we're like, it's probably 27 years old. It's going to have to get replaced.
You shouldn't see it. You should feel it.
Yeah.
You should feel it when you walk through the door.
Don't replace something that you can't see. I'm like, well, no. That's when I yelled.
What kind of show is this?
That's when I yelled at the screen. I'm like, no, if you know your air conditioning unit, like we know our air conditioning unit is 27 years old and we have one that's 2 years old, we're going to have to replace that before we put the house on the market.
So you have 2 units at your house?
2, one for up and one for down. So there's 2 zones.
Yeah.
So 2 zones. So that, just because you can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't need to be replaced.
And what if you go to sell next year, it's the beginning of the summer, and it doesn't work?
Every time we turn it on, Jim's like, I can't believe that thing keeps on trucking along, because the other one did go. And the gentleman that does our air conditioning units is like, your other one's going to go eventually. But every summer we kick it on and it turns on and we're like, oh, it's still kicking.
Saved ourselves another year.
But in our mind, we know that that's going to come up in a conversation, and why start off on a negative? Like, it's going to be better to say we replaced our roof, we replaced our heating system, and we replaced our air conditioning units within a couple of years of each other. So basically you're going into
your big ticket items.
Yeah, big ticket items.
And you know what? It does happen. Some people are just like, at this price point, I feel as though that the air conditioning should work. Yeah. Things like this. Yeah. Like that, you know? So do you get dollar for dollar back? Probably not.
Probably not, but peace of mind.
But yeah, you get a peace of mind and you sort of prove your worth.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're gonna believe my house is worth this. We've done this, and this. You don't have to come in and do anything for X amount of years.
Yep.
So, but getting back to the whole kitchen renovation and bathroom, we actually get that question a lot.
Yeah.
Sometimes people listen to the show and they just give us a call and say, hey, like, I'm thinking about, putting my house on the market in a few years. Do you think I should redo the kitchen? But it's like, it's so funny because we've never been to their house. So
yes, we don't really know. I mean, some kitchens you can walk into and be like, it's fine. I mean,
it's fine.
It's not a brand new kitchen, so you can't really, put a price tag on it like it's a new kitchen, but it's fine. You don't really need to do a lot to it. Again, and then the 2 things he did say, which everybody agrees with: declutter and a deep clean before you put your house on the market. So if you have a ton of stuff on your countertops, I think start there, take everything off your countertops, and then assess your kitchen and look at it and say, yeah, you know what? It doesn't look that bad with everything off the countertops.
Yeah.
So you start backing your way out of it, get rid of the clutter, obviously, a deep clean. The other thing they mentioned was landscaping. Don't do any big landscaping projects. I agree with that.
Like what?
Like rip out all your landscaping and put in, young, immature bushes to make it.
Yeah, I mean, you can trim them.
Clean it up. If your house needs to be pressure washed, spend the money, have your house pressure washed. If your walkway has a ton of weeds in it, yes, I think you should get rid of your weeds. But I don't think, it's not a really great time to add a huge bed in the back, cut in just to make it look pretty. Yeah. Don't do that. Yeah, don't spend money on that.
We only have a few minutes left, but I want to give you an opportunity. I know that you is it technically a reservation or is it an offer?
We're working on an offer on Ohana Way, on our new subdivision, which is great. Melissa and I just did the video out there recently in the 11-degree temperature.
Yes,
it was really cold that day. For our new subdivision that's going in Carver off of Wenham Road, Ohana Way. A lovely client came in whose daughter just purchased a house down the street. So now she's going to be less than a quarter mile away from her daughter. So it's perfect. So we did take a reservation. We're working on a purchase and sale right now, and then we're going to put shovel in the ground. So and we have another showing there next week with another buyer. So so it's getting a lot of hits over there. It is a wonderful location.
It really is.
I mean, it is right down the street from Old Colony Place. So it's probably 5 minutes away from Market Basket. Old Colony Place, shopping, the highway, it's not far from there either. It's a really beautiful neighborhood, very flat, level, fantastic builder, Bob Goslin, K&G Development. So wonderful to work with. I mean, we sat down for an hour and a half with this client. last Saturday morning, and he goes over everything soup to nuts. There are no surprises.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it worked out great. So
Perfect.
that was great. So,
Yeah.
good on Ohana Way. So, we still have one that we're showing next week, but we still have another lot there. So, we have a total of 3. And then we have Elm Place. We have another house on Elm Place. We've
I
sold
was just
2.
thinking about that the other day because somebody said something to me about new construction in Hanson, and I was like, oh, I wonder if they have one more because I couldn't remember if it was 2, if it was 3.
We have 2 more.
Oh.
One that's not even been built yet.
Yeah.
That's actually going to be on State Street. But we have the 3rd one, which is well underway, and it's going to be coming on the market soon. Or if you'd like to see it ahead of time, it's certainly in a position where you could come in and take a peek at it. It's a little smaller than the other 2. We had 4 bedrooms. This is a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. Jim and I just walked through it the other day. All the same, very similar finishes, high-end finishes, coffered ceiling in the dining room, high-end kitchen, beautiful backyard. I mean, their backyards over there are gorgeous.
Yeah.
They're huge. And again, it's tough when it's new construction because you look out back and there's piles of dirt and
Yeah.
you know,
You have
there's
to have some
dumpsters.
vision.
You got to have a little vision. And even the people that have already bought, their backyards are huge, but they haven't put up their fences yet until everything's all done.
Yeah.
But it's going to be beautiful, and it's a nice, quiet side street. Even State Street's not that busy. So
Yeah.
I don't think he's determined what he's going to build up on State Street. So if you're looking to do a custom home and you want to come in and kind of dictate what you want, I'm sure he would be happy to build you whatever you would like.
Yes.
So, but that one's going to be coming on the market in the next couple of weeks or so.
Perfect. I love
Yep.
that. Yeah, you look at you and your new construction.
Oh, new construction.
We'll have to do another new construction show.
Yeah,
and
new construction
permit
show.
show, the whole shebang.
Oh, the permit show.
We gotta, yeah. We'll get you back. I feel like it hadn't been it had been a while, and so yesterday I had said to Sharon, I was like, "Do you want me to ask Tracy to do the show tomorrow?" And she's like, "Yeah, that'd be great." And I knew. I mean, you always
know I
say
say
yes.
yes.
You
I
always
always
say
say
yes.
yes. I always say yes.
Yeah, and so I was excited that you did.
I know,
So-
because we haven't done it in a while.
yeah, in a while, maybe once in January, maybe.
Maybe.
But I love that you had an agenda today, and I love that, and I'm
Yep.
sure everybody else loved that because we weren't
So-
talking the whole time about our personal life. But one more personal thing that I want to say congratulations to Taylor and to Rand.
Thank you so
And
much.
to you and Jim.
I know we're so excited. Our daughter got engaged.
Yes.
And we are so excited. Planning a wedding down in Nashville, which
Yeah.
is kind of part of our reason for going down there.
Yeah.
So she is over the moon excited. Already
Oh,
started
yeah.
looking. Her friends have thrown her engagement parties. And yeah, we couldn't be any happier. Love Duran like he's one of our own.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great. So now I feel like we're in the
Yeah.
we're in the hot seat together.
We're in
you
the
and
hot
I.
seat together. We're
Yeah.
going to share all this information, all these ideas with each
Wedding
other.
ideas
Wedding
and-
ideas. So next year is going to be a big year for both of us.
I know
so
it's going to be so
exciting.
exciting. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you everybody for listening. Thank you, Tim, for being the best of the best.
Thank you, Tim.
Oh, you're welcome.
And thanks, Tracy, for joining me. I know you always say yes, but
I always say yes.
but I appreciate you. And congratulations to Taylor and Durand. And thank you, everybody.
Thank
we'll talk to
you.
you. Talk to you next Saturday.
Talk to you.
Bye.
Bye.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. A beautiful